So Dubai is great and all, but we need a change of scenery.
So we decided to come to Yerevan,
Armenia. Let's not get ahead of ourselves yet. We have the journey to enjoy. 4:30 in the morning. We had 3 hours sleep, and now we need to go to the airport so that we can fly a place. Okay, I need bag full of clothes, and I need bag full of camera stuff, and lastly I need a bag for the back streets.
So a question I get asked all the time is, hey Henry, why are you wearing a Kuala Lumpur shirt when you're going to Armenia? And I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told them. None of your damn business. I'm pretty excited about Armenia because the city is considered to be older than Rome. In the year 782 BC, the first structure in Yerevan was constructed. This structure was known as the Erebumi Fortress, and it is said that the rest of the Yerevan city has grown from this fortress. We're gonna go check this fortress out. Yerevan was always a pretty small place for most of its history, until it became part of the Russian Empire in the 1800s. Most of Yerevan's growth is considered to have happened in the 1900s. Yerevan became an independent nation for a mere 2 years between 1918 and 1920, when it was again absorbed into the Soviet Union. Armenia also has a dark side. In 1915, 1 million Armenians lost their lives in what's known as the Armenian genocide. Understanding the Armenian genocide is just one of the many things we hope to learn more about as we explore and enjoy this wonderful, beautiful, old, pink city. So there's one elevator here, and it takes 2.5 years to go up and down. So, good times. Hello? I'm gonna just climb back on this elevator. Start ourselves here in Armenia in the back streets. We got off the plane, it's been about an hour, we're hungry, we're thirsty, we're gonna go get ourselves some grub. We stopped at Classic Burger and it looks classic. We are checking out their menu here. All right, I think I'm gonna try some of these barbecue pork ribs because they look fantastic. Pork ribs have arrived, and these pork ribs are $10. For me to get something like this in Dubai, I'd probably be spending closer to 30. But do they taste delicious? I'm Mr. Ram. A milkshake has arrived, and milkshakes in Dubai are usually super expensive and the quality is kind of just eh. So I'm excited to try a good milkshake. We got done with Classic Burger just now and their food was exquisite. So cost effective, man. It was like $30 including a tip. The staff are the real winner though, man. Unbelievable service, super welcoming, super friendly. So find Classic Burger and enjoy them. Let's break down my first impressions of Armenia. So we've been here for about 4 hours, and off the bat, language barrier problems. we were trying to use Google Translate to speak to our driver, and the person who gave us the hotel room was having a really hard time. You're saying that the apartment is clean?
Now apartment is clean. I have in near door. No. In apartment.
So yeah, that's number one. Number two is just how friendly everybody here is. Now I know that that's a kind of a term that gets thrown around all over the place. You know, I've been to Georgia and Taiwan and Singapore, and you get varying levels of friendliness, but here, man, I've seen random kids run up to random people and they embrace them like they're their own children. They play with them. People just stop and talk to each other. We alone, I mean, people just stopped to help us. When we ran out of cash, we couldn't even speak to them, but they realized we were in trouble and they helped us. I mean, like 4 people came from afar. They didn't ask for anything. They didn't want anything. They just helped us. It's like a community, man. The people here mean something to each other. Number 3 is that the architecture in this place is really stunning, man. I get why they call it the Pink City, man. Honestly, all these buildings here, they look pink. Just phenomenal architecture. And it does feel like Soviet era architecture. So yeah, that's initial impressions. I will let you know about my final impressions when we leave. Something I always like to do when I come into a foreign country is to check out the supermarkets and see, you know, kind of the different products they have that are unique to each country. So let's go check that out. So in a foreign country, of course, I have to try the milk. Let's compare it to Singapore, number 1, and Dubai, number 2. They got milk in a glass bottle. Milk is love. I agree. Bottle from Armenia. Let's go buy this. Okay, we just arrived back at the apartment. I will give you guys a tour now. It's pretty cool actually, but first I gotta try some of this milk. Let's see, how does it compare? How does it compare? I think we got a winner, guys. It's amazing. It's like straight from the cow's udder to my mouth. All right, we had a bit of time to settle in, rest a bit because we had 3 hours sleep. But we're gonna head out now. Before we head out, we thought we'd show you guys the place. Let's check it out. First up on our tour is the tiny bathroom. This is the living quarters area. As you can see, we've already established a home base. It is nice and snazzy. It is ready for Back in the Backstreets editing and relaxation. But the real winner here is kind of our view. I mean, obviously I've seen nicer city views being in Dubai, but let's go check this out. We've also got a pretty good sunset we've been blessed with, but take a look at that. And then the layout of this place is kind of interesting because obviously you come and you've got the toilet there, and then you've got the living area here and the bed over here. The bath is pretty nice. So this is the comfy bed. It is pretty comfy. Le Magnifique. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but yeah, it's a nice tub. And that's where Beck is staying in the back streets. And that's our place. Let's go. Get out of here. We're here at Northern Avenue. It's a pretty good vibe here at night. You got, I mean, we read about this place before we came here and kind of lives up to it. It feels like a hip and happening area. You got people blowing bubbles. There's performers up that side. It's great, man. You got kids cycling. You got babies playing there. You got street vendors and cafes and that thing and the other thing. So Northern Avenue, if you are coming to Yerevan, you gotta check this place out, man. It's amazing. We're sitting here in a really snazzy cafe, and there's cafes all along this entire area. Something else that's pretty cool is it feels kind of like a high street in England. You walk down here and you've got all these shops embedded in this really cool looking architecture, and underneath us is actually a shopping complex. It's not really big, it's just kind of like a really long passage, and they got dozens of shops down there. So we'll go show you guys that just now. It's pretty cool, let's go check it out. yeah, so that's it. So far, Northern Avenue is probably one of my favorite parts of Yerevan. It's just really vibey. There's great quality restaurants around here. We just had unbelievable food, dessert, and coffee at a cafe up there, and it's really phenomenal. So I think we are gonna head home. Back from our awesome time in Northern Avenue, and we are about to hit the sack. Good night, people. Good morning, guys. So we feel pretty well rested. Today's objectives are, number one, we gotta go check out the Yerevan Cascade. It is famous. I will tell you a little bit more about it when we get there. Number two, we want to try and squeeze in the Armenian Genocide Museum. It's a place I'd really like to go and understand a little bit more about Armenia's history. And number three, we're gonna walk the streets, take in the ambience, sit down, have some romantic coffees on the side of the bustling streets of beautiful Yerevan. Let's go. This is literally how slow the elevator here is, man. There's a vape store. I gotta go check this out, and I need some vape juice anyway. And vape juice in Dubai is super expensive, so let's go hope these guys are cheap. Yay! That wasn't the vape store. I think it's up here. Sorry, guys. Okay, they don't have anything that I like, so the hunt for vape juice continues. That's such a nice breeze. So we were just walking through the streets of beautiful Yerevan, taking in the ambience, the sounds and the sights, when we stumbled across this really cute little park on our way to the infamous Yerevan Cascades, which is our next stop, and decided we were going to take a seat and just enjoy the nature. Temperature in Armenia at the moment is just perfect, averaging around 20 degrees midday. It just feels perfect. It's my kind of temperature. I'm wearing exactly what I'm comfortable in without feeling too hot or too cold, and loving it. This is the Yerevan Cascades. It is probably the most iconic architectural landmark in all of Yerevan. The Yerevan Cascades are kind of known for their modern art, and this is actually pretty cool. Come check this out. Nice line, right? Looks all sexy and fancy. It's made entirely from used tires. I prefer the line. Fancy a cup of tea, Dad? I get art. Another piece of fine art. Step 1 of 572. I'm not ready for this. I'm a broken man. There's too many stairs. The Yerevan Cascade is made entirely of limestone. When we started our climb up here, we thought it kind of looked small when we were standing all the way back there in the park. But when you're standing at the base of this thing, you realize it's pretty big. In 1971, the Cascade started construction and completed in 1980. In 2002, the second phase started construction, and that was completed in 2009. The third and I assume final phase has yet to begin. There are a number of escalators that actually run up on the inside of the Cascades, but we're taking the stairs because manly. Well, this is disappointing. Here we are at the top of the Yerevan Cascades. A good climb, not actually that difficult. It's a little bit of a pity that all this construction is going on at the back here. You can see that they've definitely laid the groundwork for what they want to be the third phase. Unfortunately, it's a little bit of a foggy day. In fact, I think we're gonna get rain. But usually if I'm not mistaken, that direction, you can see what is called the Holy Mountain of Ararat. I think that's how it's pronounced. And funny enough, that is actually not in Yerevan, it's in Turkey, but it's supposedly an amazing view. Definitely worth climbing up here to see all the modern art, to take the steps, to enjoy the breeze and the view. It's a pretty killer view of Yerevan. I don't know what just happened, but it's like Mach 10 wind speeds have just come out of nowhere. I think we're about to get hit with rain. Look at this. We gotta move. We found a secret hidey hole which looks safe and warm. Wow, they weren't kidding about these escalators, man. They go on forever. It's our butterfly chair. What is up with these dudes in chairs, man? I think Armenia is in love with chairs. More chairs. I'm shocked. Everything is chairs. Not a chair. I'm impressed. We made it to the bottom of the Cascades. If you are coming to Yerevan, it is a must. It is just an amazing view from up there. It looks like the weather has quieted down a little bit now. We are gonna go find something to eat or go to the Genocide Museum. Armenia is actually very well known for its wine. Some of the oldest wine-making places in the world are actually found here in Armenia, dating back to before 4000 BC. So we obviously had to try some of the grape juice. Just from the aroma alone, I can smell that this wine has been manufactured in just perfect conditions. They've sweltered the yeast at exactly the perfect temperature. I think it's got a bit of a woodchuck in I'm kidding, guys. When it comes to wine, I'm a Neanderthal. Let's try this again in an honest Henry opinion. I'll take this one instead. Ooh. Classic lemonade, squeezed fresh from the lemonade. And with our tiny snack lunch, it was obviously delicious. Armenian food is just delicious. Unfortunately, while we were sitting down, we took a look and we saw that we cannot get to the Genocide Museum today because it's closed. So we're gonna try find something else to do tonight. We have arrived at Republic Square and it is perfect timing. We got through a bit of rain to get here, but we are blessed with a beautiful sun beaming through the clouds to show you guys another architecturally significant and historic part of Yerevan. I'm surrounded by 5 buildings here that go back to the early 1900s, and they were designed by a very famous architect around Yerevan. His name is Alexander Tamanyan. Please don't haunt me if I butchered your name, Alex. He was actually the same architect who had the brainchild for the Cascades, but he didn't actually get to build it. Another architect who followed him built it. All right, the weather seems to be getting pretty hectic. There's been lightning flashes going. So I think we need to start heading for cover because we are pretty exposed out here. Please Zeus, no! We've just kept walking and being blessed with more and more awesome stuff to see in the city, man. It just doesn't end. It's getting pretty late though, and like I said, this lightning storm doesn't look like it's given up, and we're kind of hungry, so we're gonna go find some food, and I think we're gonna head home and call it a night. But what a fantastic day, man. Walking these streets at night is a very romantic experience. You got all these really well lit, nice, warm cafes, especially on a night like tonight where it's a little chilly, there's a bit of rain out. It's nothing better than walking down these paths with someone you care about.
Well, just add pizza to one of the many things that Yerevan just does amazingly.
After we have had some dinner, we are going to go find ourselves a lovely cafe because we just can't get enough of Yerevan's night vibes and maybe something sweet. We had to stop and satisfy our sweet craving with some of Armenia's just delicious desserts. It's like, honestly, this place and food is just amazing. So got a double hot chocolate, whatever that means, and a eclair. After this, we're gonna head home and catch some Z's. That's pretty good though. So we made it back home. It was freezing walk back down the street. It was only 500 meters, but with this wind, I mean, I think the real feel at the moment is maybe like 14, and when the average temp you're used to is like 33. It's cold, pretty cold. But we made it home safe and sound, fought off the hypothermia and the frostbite, and I think we have done enough in the last 2 days to call this a wrap. Thanks for tuning in to Beck and the Backstreets, and check out the other videos coming. I'm probably gonna have 1 or 2 more for Armenia and more other cool stuff in the future, so like and subscribe, dudes. Do it, please. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Come visit Armenia, man.